I recently saw two siblings who were having a discussion when I was at someone's house, and the mom said, "Tell your sister you're sorry." And so she said, "I'm sorry." Obviously she hasn't quite learned her lesson, but one of the important things that parents teach us is how to forgive. We need to learn that from an early age. We need to have that person who can be a mediator between two people to teach us, because oftentimes as we get older, we don't have that person that we can call on, the person that we can have bring us together or reconcile us, and we're left up to ourselves and to our own devices. So that when we're adults, we might have to settle disputes with a sibling on our own, or with a friend on our own. Micah is doing something similar in our first reading today. He's inviting the people to be reconciled. So we hear about these places and people that are in the north. So we hear about, for example, Mount Carmel, which Deacon Kyle talked about last week as near Samaria. We also hear about Bashan and Gilead, which are places to the north. But Micah is preaching to people in the south, and he's reminding them of something very important. He says, we need to be reconciled. We need to be reconciled and unified now, because greater challenges are going to come our way with the Assyrians. We need to be united now. We may have our own historical baggage, we may have squabbles from the past, but we need to be forgiven and unified now. So he says, uses an analogy and says, reminds them, that people that he's speaking to in the southern kingdom, look, we're all part of God's inheritance. We were united in the past. We were siblings in the past. When we came out of the land of Egypt, we were unified. So too we need to be unified today and now. Jesus takes it a step further in our gospel today and says, anyone who does the will of my Father is brother and sister and mother. Jesus breaks the biological ties and says, we are inheritors of Him. We are inheritors of His mercy and forgiveness and love today. So today, maybe as you are struggling with or dealing with someone who is difficult to forgive, with your own historical baggage and hurts, it's easy for us to calculate the cost. But how might Christ instead be challenging us to be reconciled, to remember that we are brothers and sisters? And like that child in our first analogy, that we're still learning how to forgive.